everyone, it's Kate from the Fold Line and welcome back to the Sew Down, which is our monthly round of stuff we've seen, read, listened to, sewn over the last month I thought you guys would find interesting. It's also our last video of the year and I thought it would be fun to mix it up. I thought I'd bring you down to my Christmas tree basically because she's quite a beauty. And yeah, Merry Christmas guys. I feel like silly season is now almost done and I don't know about you, but I'm ready for a bit of quiet time. It's been a mad December and I feel like at this point now, the weekend before Christmas, everyone's like leaving, going to their families and it's all like, psh. So I hope you're feeling relaxed and ready. So first things first, a couple of like things, notices, let's call it notices. We are shutting, so anyone who buys sewing patterns from us, the shop is now shut and we reopen on the 6th of January. So we're having a really good kind of decent chunk of time off. So anyone who buys PDF patterns, that ignore this because they just automatically send out, so you'll still get them. But anyone who buys copy shop from us or paper patterns, they will not be sent out until the 6th of January. So yes, just a warning. Yeah, we just need, I think we just decided this year, just you gotta go have a bit of downtime. So that's the first thing. Second thing, I've got a couple of things to talk about. Anyone who is now in a last minute panic about sewing, buying presents, that sort of thing. So anyone who is panicking, who needs to make a present, I'm going to pop a link to a blog post that we put out last weekend that has got a really fantastic range of things that you can make for people. I've split it up into men, women, there's accessories, there's a few things for children. So if you are in a last minute panic, you go read this blog post because there's some really good ideas in there. And there are also, everything that's listed in there is a PDF, so you can get an instant download and make it. And I also included things that were not too tricky because let's be honest, we don't need any more of a challenge at this time of year. The other thing was if you were looking for a present or you're fearful of a family member getting you something a bit dodge, we do gift vouchers on the site, so I will pop a link to that below. So if you want someone to get you a gift voucher or give a gift voucher to a crafty friend, they're there and ready to save you from getting kind of dodgy stuff. Right, so I'm going to get started. So the first thing, I usually talk about an indie designer and I've got one that I thought I should talk to you about this week and it's a little bit different and I thought because it was Christmas it was kind of appropriate. So the company is called Crafty Kuka, which I hope I am pronouncing correctly, and they are one of our only pattern companies we've got that do toys, and we kind of, I guess we're more dressmaking focused, but these were really cute and I will be popping some images up so that you guys can see them, but I think you will agree, really nice modern toys, and there are quite a lot of ones out there which I don't know, I guess they just look quite modern and they're really nice shapes and they've got some really lovely animals on there. So if you are thinking that you want to make a toy for one of your children, your friends' children, kids, nieces, nephews, you name it, you probably got one of those. These are really lovely PDF patterns for toys. I've never made a toy, so I was thinking I might actually have a go because I've got basically a squadron of godchildren now. So maybe I might make them a toy. Let's be honest, it'll probably be for their birthday at this rate. Yes, so I've got that. That is our indie designer. Next up, I've got a really cool sewing tool. The only thing I would say about this, she's Australian based. It's a sewing pattern company that we stock on the site called Sew to Grow. And she emailed us recently to tell us that she had a new pattern out, but she also sent us a link to this new product she's got. And I thought I'd share it because it's really cool. And I'd never seen anything like it. And I actually think most of us would find it really useful. So it's a measuring tape tool. I'm going to pop a link to a video because you almost need to, I think I'm not going to explain this incredibly well. It's a measuring tape tool that you literally, it's got a little kind of station at the bottom. It's got the tape comes out this side, but it's got this little thing that you click one end of the tape into, so it makes a circle. You press the button and then it shrinks to your measurement. So I don't know about you, but I definitely find if I'm trying to measure like around my arm, which is really tricky to do, or even my waist, bust, or like bits around my leg, you literally put it around you, press the button and it sucks into your shape. And I thought it would be really handy because most of us are sewing on our own. Yeah, I just thought it was really cool. So it's 14 Australian dollars, which I think is about £8. I'll pop a link to her site as well. Obviously you would not be able to get this in time for Christmas because it's in Australia, but I think they're really cool. I would imagine that she might be, some of the UK shops might have them at some point, but if you want to get it from her, support the designer, I'll pop a link to her site because I thought it was really ace. Next up, I've got a cool little, I just thought it was an interesting concept. Now, obviously there's a lot of talk about sustainability at the moment in all walks of life, but definitely within our sewing community, and things that are biodegradable. And Offset Warehouse, who, if you haven't come across them, they're a really great site. They're definitely worth looking at because they really are into sustainability. But she has got organic elastic that is 100% biodegradable, which I thought was amazing. What a cool idea. It's 15 mil, so it's kind of fairly standard width. But I think if you're going to top up on some elastic soon, it's definitely worth having a look at, and I think it's really great that companies have started listening to what we want. It's £3 a metre. I think that's right, £3 a metre. But I thought that was really cool, and it's nice to see, like, I feel like the sewing industry doesn't get like innovative products, so it's nice to see innovative stuff. Right, next up I've got a kind of, this is definitely more London based, but I thought it was worth sharing because I know there's quite a few people who will be around at Christmas. Crisis, who are a charity that help people that are homeless, have put out a request for a sewing service volunteer. So over Christmas period, they're providing lots of stuff for people who unfortunately are homeless, and they're looking for people to help mend people's clothing. So you would do a shift or a couple of shifts with them where you sit there and people bring things, items of clothing that they obviously aren't able to fix or replace, and they would ask you to help, fix it for them. I thought this was a really, really lovely idea, and if anyone is around at Christmas and feeling like they want to give back, this I thought would be a really nice thing to do. They're a really great charity, and you know, it's a tough time of year, definitely it's a tough time of year for everyone, but particularly if you're homeless. So I thought that was worth a mention. What else have I got on here? Oh yes, I've got a fantastic, if you're looking for something to make, or something you've got, I guess, slightly older children, I would say, kicking around this Christmas and you want to do a nice craft project, Grainline Studio have got 2 fantastic Christmas decorations with instructions and templates and everything. And they are amazing. They're really cute. I definitely think if you want to do something while you're watching a film this Christmas, it'd be a really nice thing to make. So there's a can of sardines and there's a gherkin, which is hilarious. And I was having a look at them, and the instructions and the step-by-steps are really great and really well photographed, as you would expect with Grainline Studio. But I thought that would be a nice fun little project in between Christmas and New Year where you don't quite know what you're doing or what you should be doing. I thought this would be a good option. Next up, I've got a couple of things to watch and a couple of things to listen to. So the first thing, this was on the BBC, and it's only 5 minutes long, and it's called, it's part of the BBC, and it's within this little bit called Reel. And the title of the video is The Ancient Skill That Could Make You Money, and it's about sewing. So it's only 5 minutes long. It's really fantastic, really interesting, but also it's amazing because there's Within London, there's a really fantastic sewing meetup called the London Stitchers Meetup, and they've gone there and filmed some people talking about sewing, and there's definitely some people that you would recognise from Instagram on there, which was really nice. So it's definitely worth having a little watch. It's only 5 minutes and it's sewing based, so that is lovely. Two things, I guess I'll just mention both of them because I'm sure anyone who is into this will already know, but anyone who watches The Crown or hasn't watched The Crown, just go and watch that over Christmas. It's absolutely fantastic. 3rd series is out on Netflix. It's wonderful. But the thing I really wanted to talk about is The Marvellous Miss Maisel. This is available to watch on Amazon Prime, and if you have not watched it, just cancel your Christmas plans and just sit down and watch it. It's so good. So this is the 3rd series. I'm about halfway through it. Apparently, so it's the whole story is loosely based on Joan Rivers and her, I mean, obviously now we're in the 3rd series, I think it's probably moved on from being about her, it's kind of taken off on its own thing, but it was loosely based on her life story as becoming a stand-up comedian. It's set in the 50s, the late 50s, maybe it's set in the 50s and it moves on, and she's got incredible costumes. It's really witty and funny. It feels it's just a really nice thing to watch. So I would highly recommend that for over the Christmas period if you haven't done it. The last 2 things are podcasts because I couldn't resist. So the first one I've got to talk to you about is called Dolly Parton's America. This is absolutely incredible. Anyone who who doesn't love Dolly Parton? But it's a documentary series. It's about 6 or 7 episodes, and each one has a particular theme. And the guy who does it is, what's his name? Jad. His first name's Jad. He was part of Radio Lab, so he's like really like high-end podcast maker. And he does these interviews with her. I don't know, it just gives a really interesting look at her, because I don't know about you, obviously she's a fantastic songwriter and really great musician, but he just got this really interesting angle, and each episode has a different theme, and it's wonderful. I've really loved listening to it. It's really intelligently done. It's really sensitively done. It's a real like joy to listen to. So if you've got like a long drive this Christmas, I'd highly recommend that. It's really fantastic. And last but not least, I mean, I couldn't resist a little bit of festive murder because Rachel and I are obsessed. So Rachel sent me this one, and I am gobbling it up as we speak. And it's called Missing and Murdered, Finding Cleo. It's a really interesting story, actually. It's about a family the kids were put into care in America, and one of them died, and they don't know how she died, and they're looking into it. But the children were all split up. It's a sad story, but it's a very interesting one, and it's about the siblings trying to find her and what happened to her, and it's unfurling in a really good way. I would say the 2nd series is actually better than the 1st, so that would be my top tip. If you could listen to a couple of the 1st series and then skip on to the 2nd, but it's really well produced and definitely worth a listen. Right, it feels a bit weird saying like goodbye, but I'll be back in January. As I said, have a lovely time with whatever you're doing. Try and stay calm. I know this can be a stressful time of year. For some people, it can be a very hard time of year. For other people, with families and everything else. So just, if you're feeling like you need to get out and go for a walk or put on some TV and switch off from everything, I hope there's some nice things in there for you. So yes, see you in January and have a fabulous one. Bye.